Okay, and we are crossing the road to go, then we will go to the right to meet, well, hopefully meet the guard dog. So, I agree. There is a problem regarding people owning several, pieces of real estate, while, and, they of course cannot live at the same time in these properties. And at the same time, we have a shortage of housing, even though, we have apartment complexes are popping left and right, but of course they are, upscale and unaffordable for majority of the people. And I think the real problem is this, that a lot of real estate, apartments, houses that are officially unoccupied are in reality being leased or even subleased, without declaring income and of course paying taxes. And this is, I think, the main problem regarding real estate shortage in Slovenia, especially in larger cities and towns, and not the lack of the too low tax on real estate. I think the solution would be just first combine records regarding every person that lives in Slovenia has to be registered. They have to be registered at some location, some dwelling where they live. And this, it then is combined with real estate, data that, state also has. And, and then you combine this and you see, here we have, so and so such number of people that are living, here, but in this apartment that has a size, I don't know, 100 square meters, there is only one person. But I know several cases when especially elderly who bought, or let's say they were there was they acquired the property through other means, inheritance. And now, if they're, let's say, living alone, widower or widow, and of course, Greva, Niga, children left, or they don't have children, they cannot, manage the bills, the expenses, and of course they sublet, one room, perhaps two rooms, or if they have, here in Slovenia is tradition, especially in the, let's say, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that people would oh, there is Doggo sleeping behind the second fence. Oh, he woke up. Yeah, they would also, they would have, let's say, primary residency somewhere in the city, and at the same time they would be building, like a weekend house, and after they retired, they would, relocate to the weekend house, while the, let's say, their previous primary dwelling would be then given or occupied by their children, or perhaps, you know, would be then would be, you know, leased. And you know, I think here is a problem. You know, there are a lot of course we have also problem in the let's say other direction, when you have, you know, fictional registration on the property, just so that people are, you know, officially living in Slovenia, and then you have, you know, a small apartment with 100 people officially registered as living there, which is of course not true. And Slovenian bureaucracy, so Ministry of Interior, actually has legislative issues regarding, you know, regarding such cases, you know, when there is a clear indication of fraud, because officially you don't need the owner of the property to register the, let's say, the new occupant in person at the you know, registry office. You can just bring, you know, signed piece of, you know, paper, you know, the, let's say, agreement, and even, you know, of course it's forged. So yeah, I think the solution would be, you know, basically hire 100 or even more, couple of hundred, you know, inspectors and then just, you know, let them loose across, you know, whole Slovenia, and then they should figure out how many, you know, properties are really empty and how many properties are being you know, rented on the black market, and people are not paying, you know, the taxes on this. And this thing would be solution then, you know, implementing new or higher taxes, because, you know, you would get income, plus, you know, you can also, you know, fines, penalties, that would also bring some money for the budget, into the budget. So yeah, okay, let's end on this point.